Welcome everybody to the much long awaited hallway redecoration. So I'm going to show you first off what we are starting with. It's pretty tatty. It's very old and it wasn't done properly the first time round when we did it. It was kind of a slapdash sort of a job and well, it got worse after the builders visited to put the new heating system in, which is still causing us problems. But by the by, let's move on. I really didn't feel like cleaning this hallway up after the builders left. I couldn't bothered. And in all honesty, we passed through this hallway. We don't really spend any time in it, so you don't really notice the dirt and the bits falling apart and things like that. You just pass through the hallway and forget about it. We've got the carpet falling off the stairs, the banister coming off the wall. We've got dirt and grime everywhere, a bit more carpet falling off the wall. We were given a blind from our neighbour when we first moved in, but that broke, and then we just had a bit of useless curtain filling the void, which is all frayed. We've got bare lamp wires hanging down. What are they called? Light bulbs, there you go. The doors aren't repainted, so they're ages old. That was when Craig was 3, 17 now we painted that door for him. Never did finish it. Cobwebs absolutely everywhere. It's just awful, isn't it? Really? The colour scheme doesn't work. It's just ugh. So we're going to get on top of it. We're going to get it. We're going to get it looking beautiful. Now, job one, of course, we've got to remove the cobwebs. But this is why I found out, or when I found out, should I say, why our hallway is full of cobwebs. My feather duster doesn't reach high enough to get the cobwebs at the top of the landing ceiling there. Is that a vaulted ceiling? Is that what these things are called? Either way, my little feather duster does not reach. So I did have to find some bits to improvise with. Kerry gave me a scrubby brush thing, and like a battery-powered scrubby brush thing. So I sort of cable tied the two of things together and finally had enough room or length to reach the ceiling. So I got about getting rid of those cobwebs at long last, and let me tell you, I am not lying when I say it was like wrapping candy floss round a candy floss stick. There were that many cobwebs, it just, well, candy floss round a candy floss stick, that's exactly what it looked like. Brown, dusty candy floss. Yeah, it sounds really appetising, doesn't it? But that is what we ended up with. So, good clean of the ceiling. Now, I thought that up there was a spider in the corner. Whether with us or no longer with us, I didn't know. But for the life of me, I could not get it to come down. I kept dusting it and trying to get it out of the corner and it wouldn't go. In the end, I gave up. Do you know what it was? When they came round to do the heating inspection, they sent round a man beforehand with I don't even know what you'd call it. It looked like a tea key. And like a T-shaped key. And he basically jabbed holes in the ceiling and took away samples of the ceiling to test for asbestos before they put the new heating in. That's what that was. It was a hole in the ceiling. So he sort of jabbed a hole up there, out of the way. No one would see it. No one would even notice it. I didn't, to be fair. And that's what that was. It wasn't a spider I was trying to get down. It was a hole in the ceiling. I was really upset when we came to peeling off this border, though. Oh, I peeled it off and it peeled all the paint off with it. Not just the paint of the yellow and the brown that you can see. No, there was paint, different colour paints underneath it as well. It peeled every single layer of paint off. There was debate over whether we stripped the rest of the paint or whether we just sort of painted over it. We opted for just sort of sanding, filling and painting over it because to strip the rest of the hallway of the paint would have just been an absolute nightmare. So we didn't bother. We just, like I say, we filled it and then sanded it down. And it actually, you can't really tell. You can in places if you know to look for it. But if you don't know to look for it, you don't see it. So we're quite happy with it. But Dale was like, oh, it's probably because the wall wasn't primed before the paint was put on, so it's all sort of gone into the plaster work. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's possible. Here we are having a discussion about why this has happened. And this is why this decoration took so long. It was literally all a discussion on, like, should we do this? Should we do that? But if the wall wasn't primed properly, why was this side perfect apart from this little patch at the bottom? He don't understand. The walls must have been primed perfectly. But, I don't know. Either way, we got it sorted. We're nothing if not, I don't know if the word flexible, economical, whatever the word may be. We are those things and we will make the best of a bad situation. So we're going to take all the old stuff out before we can get going with the new. I did try taking this curtain down. Apparently, I am far too short to reach to take the curtain down. I don't know how it went up. I must have put it up. Maybe Dell put it up. No, because even Dell's too short to put the curtain up. In the end, he tried with a paint roller. And the paint roller kept spinning round so he couldn't get any, weight behind it to get the curtain, hooked off of the little hooks that are up there. In the end, I pass him a metal ruler, and he uses the metal ruler to convince the curtain wire to come off of the curtain hooks. Quite successfully, actually. But yeah, now that horrible bit of curtain's gone. So it's done its time. It really has. It's been up, like I say, we moved into this house when Craig was 3 and he's now 17. So Alyssa would have been, she's 2 years older, she's 5. She was 5 when we moved in here. We had the blind up for maybe 6 months. So that little bit of curtain there is a good 13, 14 years old. Because it was in another room of the house before it got shortened to go there. And it's been frayed and awful ever since. Now, I can't wait for you to see what's there. I'm so pleased with how this hallway has turned out. I can't wait for you to see the end. Do remember what the beginning looked like. I might include the beginning again at the end, so you can do like a side-by-side comparison up and down the stairs, having a look. Because I am shooketh by the difference it has made. I am over the moon. And for those of you out there that are a bit weirded out that we wear our shoes upstairs, we don't anymore. We do not wear shoes upstairs in the house. There is a big notice on the door that says, "No shoes!" And as soon as you come in, your shoes are taken off and you cannot go upstairs with your shoes on. I don't mind them still downstairs because obviously the dog's down there, and if and when baby cat ever returns, she will be down there as well. So you can't really make the dogs and the cats, clean their feet every time they come in and out of the house. So yes, we do wear our shoes downstairs still. However, when we get new carpet down there, that may change. But for the moment, we certainly do not wear our shoes upstairs anymore. Absolutely not. I've also banned eating upstairs in the bedrooms, like with bowls of food and things like that. And I'm even paranoid about teas and coffees going upstairs because this bathroom, the hallway is so nice now. I want to keep it this way. We've spent a fair chunk of change doing it. There's been a lot of time and effort going into doing it, and it's staying the way it is. And I swear, those of you who've seen my other videos will know. Those of you who haven't are going to be told. Anybody coming to this house, like builders or things like that, you're wearing overshoes or you're taking your shoes off. Choice is yours, but that is what is going to be happening. That's it. End of. And if they've got grubby, filthy, dirty hands, you're either going to be wearing gloves or you're going to be washing your hands. Again, the choice is yours. Pick your choice. But you will not be going up and down my stairs, touching my walls and my carpet with your dirty hands and feet. It ain't happening. Forget it. Move on and find someone else to play that game with, because no, not happening. Anyway, Dell is painting. I don't know why we didn't start with the ceiling. After we started getting the colours on the wall, I thought it might be more sensible if we'd started with the white paint at the top on the ceiling and then worked down. Because at the end of the day, if you start with the lightest colour and the top down, any drips and spatters are more easily covered by the darker colour paints. And also, you start from the very top down, so again, any darker spatters are going to fall onto, or any paint spatters are going to fall on part of the wall you haven't already painted. But we started painting up and then painted the ceiling. Kind of a good job we did though, because I got hold of the roller at one point and started to try and help, and I duffed the ceiling with the roller and put a nice big chunk of brownie coloured paint onto the ceiling. Yeah, so Del had to get back up there anyway and repaint the whole lot. Anyway, because I made a whoopsie doodle. So it's a good job we didn't start with the paint, the ceiling paint. And I suspect that's probably the reason why Del kind of knew that was likely to happen. So I thought, yeah, we'll just do it that way. Now, for those of you who are interested, we are going for taupe. Taupe is the colour. I couldn't get taupe for the particular hallway project, so we ended up with toasted almond, which is very, very close to taupe. The rest of the house will be taupe. I have now sourced taupe paint, so it will be taupe. If in the video I call it teal and I don't correct myself, I mean taupe. I keep, for some reason, calling it teal. I don't know why, but yes, there you go. So if I say teal, please don't come for me in the comments saying, well, you said teal. Is it teal or taupe? I'm not sure which one you mean. It is taupe, 100% taupe. I just, for some reason, have a blind spot for the name of the paint and keep calling it teal. I do not mean teal. Teal will not be going anywhere in the house that I'm aware of. It is not my plan. So there's my little disclaimer. Quite a long-winded disclaimer, actually. But yes, you hear me say teal, just substitute it for taupe. My brain gets confused. I don't know why. So, when we got the taupe onto the wall, we were going to stick with the old line that goes down the stairs. I didn't like that. I didn't want as much of the cream or ivory cream colour for the bottom. I didn't want that going as high. So I thought what we would do is bring it down to the level of the windowsill here. So I went along with the ruler and the spirit level to make sure that all my measurements were completely straight and completely accurate and all the same length. And I measured all the way downstairs. I marked it up. I drew my line and it looked perfect. I'm pretty sure Del just sort of eyed the other side. He just took the duct tape and just eyed it. Because I said to him, get the spirit level out like you made me do and make sure it's all straight and everything's measured perfectly. Because at the end of the day, if you put your ruler on slightly wonky, although you're still measuring from there to there, that's going to be a slightly different measurement because it's wonky. It's not perfectly straight. I know what I mean. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well, but the measurements are going to be slightly off because the ruler isn't straight. But he knew what he was doing, so he did the other side. And I'm not entirely sure if it's because our entire house is crooked or because one of us has measured it wrong. Him. No. I honestly, when we did this the first time round with that pink border that you see us take off before, oh my goodness, did it take so many attempts to get it right. And even then, I swear to you, from the top of the stairs, it looked perfect. It was perfectly even all the way down. It looked fine. You stand at the bottom of the stairs and look up and suddenly what would be your left-hand side. So in this image, the right-hand side, but if you stood at the bottom of the stairs, it would be your left-hand side. That side was completely off from the other side. It was lower. But again, like I say, you stand at the top of the stairs. It wasn't lower at all. It was perfect. I just don't understand how it worked. I know it must be an optical illusion of some description or other. But either way, it drove us mad. So in the end, we just got it as close as we could by eye and just left it. And eventually you kind of forget it's a bit wonky and out of sorts and you just kind of move on with your life. And I think this is going to be the same sort of thing. I don't honestly think, even if we'd got like a laser tape measure and put it perfectly on the wall at the same place and drew the line with a laser spirit level so it was perfect on both walls, I think even then it would still look wonky because this house is out of kilter. When we put the carpet on the stairs that you'll see later, or we put it on and it looked wonky. We were measuring it as well. And we measured it and it started going wonky. So even though we were going straight down the stairs, we were measuring and it was going wonky. You can't. So what we ended up having to do was go slightly wonky with the carpet so it went straight and it went perfectly measured each side. Fine. Brilliant. But it's not. In some places, I think it still looks wonky. I think it's because I know it's wonky, not because it is actually wonky. But either way, I swear, oh, it's like the crooked house, these stairs. I don't know what to do with it. I wonder if that's got a lot of the reason why at night, it could be the EMF from like the electrical box at the bottom of the stairs. Either way, at night, that was a result of me sanding. I was just like, look how much dust. So I thought I'd show you. Yeah, at night, when you go back upstairs, you kind of feel like something's chasing you upstairs. And I wonder if it's because the stairs are all on a kilter and you're like, it just makes you feel off balance and unsteady. Who knows? Right, now Dale's done a load of work. I'm going to get to do some work. I've done a lot of measuring. But for me, I tend not to do the hard graph stuff. I do a lot of measuring and I do a lot of tinkering, but I don't actually do any proper work. For now, that's all we're going to do. Now, my blind. This was the first. So after I got the toasted almond for the top bit, this blind was my first purchase towards the theme. I'm not really. I think some of you know the theme already, but for those of you who don't, I'm going to let you have a guess at the theme from what I'm putting in. Obviously, the more I put in, eventually the theme will become very, very apparent. But it is kind of a general theme with a slightly specific orientation. Yes, that's all I'm going to leave you with. It's a generic general theme. I don't know if generic's the right word, but it's a general theme, but it has like a specific orientation. So for those of you who know, don't spoil it till the end of the video. But for those of you who don't know, you can have a good guessing game amongst yourself and see if you can guess my theme for the house. Hopefully you can guess. Again, I would say don't put it in the comments because you might spoil the fun for other people. But at the end of the day, until the end of the video, you don't know, do you? I mean, some of you could put that maybe the theme is, I don't know, chocolate, sweeties. And you put it in the comments and then you get to the end of the video and you realise, you were wrong. So that would be interesting to know. What do you think the theme is? And did you know before the end of the video, or did you have to be told? At what point in the video did you work out what the theme was? According to everybody that's been in my house, apparently the old theme of my hallway was Neapolitan ice cream. It looked exactly like Neapolitan ice cream, evidently. Which apparently Del and Alyssa only realised when we came to repainting the hallway. It's something I'd noticed quite early on, but I quite liked it. I was like, yeah, I like Neapolitan ice cream, so why not? And then those two were like, looks like Neapolitan ice cream. Yes, it does. I've just realised something. I can't remember if we took those brackets down from the old blinds or not. I think Dale was supposed to, he was going to tidy up round the inside of the window frame and give it a coat of paint, so it's now the like a cream coloured paint to sort of diffuse the light a bit better. I don't know if he's done that. Or when I'm filming the voiceover. While I'm filming this voiceover, the hallway is still not completed yet. We're waiting for a bit more carpet to go down and then it will be completed. So hopefully by the time you see this, it'll be completed. If not, you're going to get a little part 2, which will just show you the finishing bits. But I think we should get it finished by the time it goes live. I hope so. It has been one heck of a long project. I cannot even remember when we started doing this. 16th of May. We were doing this in May, beginning of May, yeah? So it's now, the 6th of June while I'm filming this voiceover. It has been over a month since we started in the beginning of May. It's been over a month working on this project. Whew. Anyway, got to clean the lampshade out. Now, I was going to repurpose this lampshade. I did have 2 originally. So I was going to clean it up and put it back up. Unfortunately, it was at this point I realised I don't have its twin anymore. So I can't put it back up. I can't repurpose this. So I had to buy myself 2 new lampshades. Unfortunately, I brought 2 new lampshades and didn't think about what size they were, how low they hung, or anything like that. And now every time I open my front door, you buff the light shade. It's not a great big problem. I mean, it doesn't do it any damage. It swings happily, and that's the end of that. But yeah, every time you come in the front door, you open it, and doof. Very mild. Well, I say very annoying. It's mildly irritating. I did have to buy all new pendants for the light fittings as well, because they age is old. I mean, we've been here, like I say, 13, 14 years now. And the resident before us, I'm not sure how long she was here, but I'm guessing many, many moons. Probably one of the original owners of the house, if not one of the second residents of the house. And the light fittings have probably been in that long. We've certainly never changed them. So they're a good age. And I thought that obviously they'd be easier to replace. Turns out, no. The rose didn't fit where the old rose was. So we had to kind of clean up some of the fittings, which wasn't too hard. But the actual light bulb cable we had to change out. So that looks nice and shiny and new and clean. It was actually, see, look, can you see how sort of grey and pitted and yicky it looks? Well, we couldn't get that off. So I decided to buy all new fixtures and fittings and stuff like that. Like I say, the only thing that didn't fit was the rose, unfortunately. But Dell managed to clean up the old roses really nice. They came up really well. They only really had paint on them. They hadn't gone this weird grey sort of colour. I don't know why this has. Maybe because it was closer to the light, the actual light itself, and it just got warm, which made the plastic more receiving of the dirt. I don't know. Anyway, so now that's all cleaned off, I'm going to paint the door frames. Can you tell I'm ADHD? I don't complete a single job before moving on to the next one. It's like, yeah, I'll do a bit of this. Yeah, I'll do a bit of that. Bored of that now. I'll move on to do a little bit more of this. In fact, this is all I managed to paint of the door frames. I got bored and moved on to something else again. But it comes together in the end, and that is what matters. I kind of wish I could see a job through without getting totally just and bored with it all. Dell's pretty good at that. Dell will do a job. And well, actually, no, he doesn't even complete it yet. Again, at the time of doing this voiceover, he hasn't done the rest of the hatch. I'm sure he hasn't painted the rest of the hatch. Oh, yeah, he's just as bad as me. I'll do a little bit. See, he intersperses it with having a cup of tea. Every 5 minutes, we'd start getting work done. It wasn't literally every 5 minutes, but you know, every 5 minutes we'd be doing a bit of work, and then he'd be like, right, coffee break. And he'd go and put the kettle on. So we had a coffee break. We'd discuss what we needed to do, what we wanted to get done. We'd go back, we'd do a little bit more. 5 minutes later, right, coffee break. And we'd go and discuss what we needed to do, go and get a little bit more done. And then with me changing jobs every 5 minutes as well, it's like, can we please just do one thing and get it finished? Yeah, this, like I say, at the point of doing this voiceover, there's still a list as long as my arm of jobs to get done. I do have Saturday off, so it's Thursday while I'm filming this voiceover. I'm off this Saturday, so I may just make a list of all the jobs that want to be finished here, and I'm just going to crack on through them and get them done, and then I can get this video uploaded for you when the carpet arrives. Because literally, we're waiting for the carpet to get here. That's what's majorly holding us up. But we need to get the paintwork done before the carpet arrives, because if you think I'm putting down shiny new pretty carpet and then having someone paint all over it, you might be a tad wrong with your thinking there, because that's not the way it's going to happen. So yeah, I need to make a list. Everybody loves a list. I'm going to make a big long list of all the jobs that have got to get done and finished. And then Saturday, I will be completing those jobs. All right, we're on to another day. So that painting the loft hatch surround, that was one day. Now we need to move on to putting the new fixtures on for the light. Dale was going to take it down, and I'm like, you need to be safe. Safety first. Shut the breaker off to the lights. Well, we don't know which one of our breakers controls the lights, because it's kind of been wired up a bit funny. And we're not sure whether the one labelled like lights is actually for the internal lights. So I said, turn it on, then start throwing breaker switches. And when the breaker cuts out the light, you know it's safe. So he threw the breaker and the light went out. Perfect. We're now safe to take off the old rows and put the new light bulbs in. Now, I wasn't going to be doing this. There are some things in this world I will play with, and there are some things in this world I am going to avoid forever. I will always get somebody in or have somebody do this sort of work for me. That's from where the builders did all the pipe work. Dirty my light fittings. Just so annoying. But yeah, I'll always have somebody do these little jobs for me. Like if a plug needs wiring or fusing or whatever, somebody else will do that for me. I will never do that for myself. Obviously, for proper electrical works, I have an electrical safe engineer come and fit everything. But now, when he painted this wall, I was again a tad shook. Look at the colour difference. You don't notice it, do you, when it slowly changes colour around you? And then one day you come along and you put a little bit of white paint on your ceiling and you suddenly realise your ceilings were brown. Well, not really brown, kind of beige. But again, this ceiling hasn't had a coat of paint in 13, 14 years. It was bound to show a bit of dirt. We had a coal fireplace as well, so there's coal soot in the air and stuff like that. We've got the farmers in the fields, people smoking, all that sort of stuff. It's going to have an effect on the ceilings, isn't it? Especially over the course of 13 years. Even if you don't smoke in your home, I'm pretty sure if you went up to your ceiling after 13, 14 years and put a little bit of white paint up there, you'd see a small colour variation or a big colour variation depending on how dusty your home environment is. If you've got pets and a coal fire, it's probably going to be a bit dirtier than someone who's got air purifiers, no pets and gas central heating. You know, we're all different. But it really did make me think, wow, we need to decorate more regularly because that is just scary. I did not like it at all, but it's all painted. It's all clean now. And I'm very, very excited. I love it. Oh, I love it so much. I really can't wait for you all to see the finished product. It's taken so long. It's taken so much effort on both mine and Dell's part. When I tell you we are really getting tired now, we're exhausted of making these changes. It's a weird thing. I'm tired of making the changes because I'm used to not making the changes. So your body gets used to not doing anything, just to accepting the status quo. I want to make these changes. I love making these changes, but it's going against the status quo. It's doing things I don't normally do. It's coming home and doing things instead of relaxing and chilling out. And yeah, wow, am I tired now? And so's Dell. It really is starting to have a knock-on effect. We're working really hard. And like I say, neither of us regret it, but it is starting to show how hard we are working to change things. These are my door duffing lampshades. Yep, that's what I'm calling them. Door duffing lampshades. I'm going to design a whole range of them. And I'm never going to do that, am I? But that would be cool. Having my own designer lampshades in like the shops. Door duffing lampshades. I wanted to do all this painting freehand like I did in Craig's room, but when I tell you the surface area of this hallway is a lot bigger than the surface area of Craig's room, I ain't lying to you. It was going to take me forever to paint the stairs this way. I did give up in the end and use duct tape. Now, look at Dell all excited to put the other lamp up. He did actually such a good job cleaning those roses. Like I say, they were all sort of covered in paint and they weren't very clean. So he got some pink stuff paste and he gave them a good scrubbing and got them all beautifully clean. And he was so proud of himself. He did do a really good job. But he wanted me to hold the ladder for him because obviously at the top of the stairs, we've got a landing there. But it kind of makes you feel a little bit insecure on the landing. Even though it's perfectly safe, the ladder is perfectly stable and flat, it kind of makes you feel a little bit off balance being there. So he was like, can you just come and sort of stand and by the ladder and hold the ladder? I'm like, dude, you know my upper body strength. I got no chance of stopping that ladder falling if anything would happen. I mean, mind you, maybe he wasn't hoping I'd not soften. Maybe he wasn't hoping I would stop the ladder falling. He was just hoping I would soften his landing. That's what he wanted me up there for, wasn't it? Then he could... Do you remember when we were kids and you used to sort of slide down the stairs? Maybe that's kind of what he was hoping for. That, you know, if anything happened, he could just sort of whee and slide down the stairs and be like have his landing softened. I don't know. I don't know what he was hoping, but me stopping the ladder falling, that wasn't going to be what was going to happen. I'd have given it my best shot, of course I would, but I have got the upper body strength of a wet paper bag. I'd have done my best, but probably wouldn't have been best. It might have been more helpful to get Craig or Alyssa. They've probably got more upper body strength than I have. Okay, now this footage is sped up, I promise you. You can't tell though, but that is how long this whole process was taking. This is what I was doing in Craig's room. But this whole process seemed to take so long. For some reason, these brushes I've got, they're the same ones I used in Craig's room, but they're not the exact same brush. Does that make sense? They're from the same pack, but this is a different brush to what I used in Craig's room. I used a slightly smaller or slightly bigger one. But this is exactly the same brush out of the exactly the same pack. It's just a different size. But this one just didn't seem to get the paint on the wall properly. It wouldn't go as far, so you couldn't drag the paint out as far. It just wasn't nice and smooth in Craig's room. It was just like, la. On it went, beautiful and smooth, lovely, you know. It was not working. So in the end, like I say, I gave up. I got the duct tape and we just went at it with the duct tape. And I think actually in the end we used a roller. It was just taking too long. In the interest of speeding the job up, in the end, me and Del actually ended up working together, well, working at the same time, to get jobs done. Because this was going to take me a week. So Del was getting the light fitting done. He also got some painting done as well. Because one of us would work and the other would stand and watch or stand and chat. And then we'd switch over. At this point, we're both doing work together. And then once Del's finished with the light, getting that cleaned, he's like, right, I'm off, going to do some painting and some rollering. So he gets the roller out and I'm like, if you drop that on my head. Now, secretly, I'm thinking it. I never said anything. I didn't mention it. But I was waiting the whole time for that to go whoop and slip and clock me on the head. It never did. I also didn't end up with paint all over me with a blessing. I mean, which was a blessing. Not with a blessing. Anyway, honestly, we'd be unstoppable. If both of us could complete a job and both of us could do stuff at the same time, we would be unstoppable. It's funny, though. At home, we're like this, right? I don't know. We don't work at the same time. But we've worked in many places together. And we are a formidable team, the two of us together. So it translates differently at home than what it does at work. We just need the work ethic at home, you know what I mean? Because then we could both work and we could both get stuff done super quick. And this project would have been done in a fraction of the time if we'd have just both been like, yeah, woohoo, and got on with it. But we didn't. We chose to take our time and do what needed doing as it needed doing. I was toying with the idea of removing the banister and getting one that was sort of free standing, like that comes off the wall on like the metal supports, or like the you know the ones I mean. This whole banister is actually attached to the wall itself rather than being on those metal like hooks that come out of the wall. I was thinking about getting one of those, but in the end I kind of opted for no, because we took the skirting boards off in our bedroom and that was a big mistake. Huge. I can only imagine the cost and the level of repairs we would have to go to get a new banister fitted. This one was also fitted by the Housing Association or the council before it was Housing Association or whoever. This is original to the property, this banister. And what I don't want to do is go and put another banister in and then find out, because obviously we've put a modern banister in modern times, that we are subject to different building regulations. You know, it's the original banister, it's original to council, they know it's there, so it meets with their building specs. But if I know full well, if I go spending all the money to rip the old one out, repair the damage of where the old one's been, and then put the new one in, there is a ton of building regulations that you have to go through to get the right height for it and all that thing. I just didn't want to deal with it. So I was like, do you know what? No. We'll make it safe, and we will continue to use the banister that the council put in for us, because I know at least that one is up to code, or whatever the UK equivalent of up to code is, and we'll just live with that, because, oh my goodness, I am not bothering with that. It's too much going on in my life to worry about building regulations and things like that. I don't need it. So if I can avoid doing a job so I don't have to get involved with that, then I'm going to do it. Like with boxing in the electrical work. I have, little dance break, I have employed a handyman, or a chippy wood person, what are they called? Carpenter. There you are. I am hiring the services of a carpenter who can box the electrical work in safely. They know what they're doing. They know the regulations on what they can and can't do. So, yeah, I'm not going to do it, but I will get a competent professional to do it for me, because I'm not daft. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it yourself. DIY it does stand for do not injure yourself. Because you're just daft. If you do things you're not qualified to do, you're daft. So, we'll move on from that. But yeah, I am getting a nice little chippy in. A little, oh my God, what is the word for them? Carpenter. A carpenter. I'm getting a carpenter in to box in my electrical work. I hate it. It is one of the most hideous things in this house. I'm going to be so pleased when it's actually done. It probably won't be done on this video for you guys, because I'm having to wait for him to return off of annual leave. Then he has to come out and give us a quote. And then I have to wait for payday before I can action that quote and get him out to do the actual work. So that will come as a little short, a little bit later. But it will be happening. Can't wait for it to happen. I can't wait. Honestly, I'm hoping he turns up and says, yeah, love, 50 quid. I'll be like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow then. I'll figure out the money somehow, but yeah, come and do it. I don't know what the quote's going to be, but we'll find out. He's due, well, as I'm speaking to you, he's due in about an hour. By the time you watch this, obviously he will have been and gone, and I will either be saving for the quote, or I will have paid the quote and be waiting for him to come back to do the work. But either way, by the time this video goes up, I'll know when I can have my electric wires boxed in. Oh, it'd be so nice to have that ugly, hideous mess got rid of. Well, hidden so we can't see it. Ironically, for those of you who know about Baby Cat going missing, this was, I think, the first day we noticed. So this, while we're doing this, is either a Saturday or a Sunday. I think this was a Saturday. And we last saw Baby Cat. We checked the CCTV to see when we last saw her. And it was 3 a.m. on the Friday the 16th of May. And this filmed is Saturday the 17th of May. So, yeah, it's just over 24 hours since we last saw her. Is this video? A little bit of information for you there. So it shows you how long we've been working at this project. Baby Cat went missing while we were starting to film this. Yeah. Poor thing. She'll be back soon. Anyway, let's move on to happy things. Look, it's coming together. It's coming together. Have you guessed the theme yet? Now, I'll be happy with like the general theme, the genre, or whatever it is you want to call it, the general theme. But if you can narrow it down and get me the more specific theme, I'll be happy. Right, this is why you can't get your carpets clean, people. We took the stair carpet off, and all this dust and muck was underneath the carpet and underneath the underlay. So when you're cleaning your carpet, you're not actually just cleaning your carpet, you're trying to clean the dirt out of the underlay, and you're cleaning the dust and the dirt out that's gone underneath the underlay. So we've got all the carpet up, we've given the stairs a really good sweep, and then we realised actually the carpet was stuck to the stairs way better than we thought it was. We used carpet glue to get it stuck to the stairs, and we could not get this carpet glue up. It was just a nightmare. We tried all your suggestions for removing it, like sticky stuff, whatever the things are called, WD-40, we tried that. I tried surgical spirits, that didn't work. In the end, we went and got some stuff from Wix. I'll show you that in just a second. But we took all the carpet up, apart from the carpet at the top of the stairs, the very top of the stairs. But this is what we were left with. So once this has all been swept, all this is what's left stuck to the stairs. It's bits of foam, it's bits of hair, like actually stuck onto the stairs and the glue and that. So we got this stuff. It's like £8 a can, sealant and adhesive remover. Now, if you get this, it's from Wix, it's £8 a can. You must open a window. You also need to leave it. So I wanted to see how good of a job it did. It does say on the back of the can, leave it for 10 minutes, but I was like, meh, we'll see how good it is. You know, maybe some you can just spray and wipe off and it works really well. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go. It's not going to hurt. It didn't work though. So I did end up respraying and then leaving it for 10 minutes. And this is the result after leaving this for 10 minutes. It came off like a dream. Now, like I said, I'd use loads of stuff on this. Scouring pads, WD-40, the works. But this stuff really works. However, I will warn you, if you're going to use it, do make sure you've got doors and windows galore open. Honestly, this stuff stinks. It's really strong odour. So do make sure doors and windows are wide open at all times while you're spraying it. It does also leave a bit of a nasty feeling residue on your hand. It doesn't sort of burn or sting or anything like that. Just weird, not sticky feeling, but I don't know. It's the weirdest thing to describe. So maybe I would consider wearing gloves. I mean, it certainly didn't do my skin any damage, but it didn't feel nice. You know, it was, I mean, you're cleaning off like sticky adhesive, aren't you? So it's probably that I was feeling, but it didn't feel nice on my hands. So it doesn't say about using gloves on the pack, but I would consider using gloves. After that, Dale got in and painted the stairs. Look how beautiful it looks. He got confused he was switching colours and he accidentally painted the wall white. Silly man. Never mind, he covered it back up and it looks good. And then we've got pictures that we got printed ourselves, got some photo paper and printed them up. It's from a trip to Great Yarmouth we all did. Craig didn't want to come on this trip. He likes to stay at home. He does not like going out and about. But we are going back to Great Yarmouth very soon and hopefully we can get some photos with Craig with us so he can go on the wall. Picture frames have arrived. Yes, that was a wee little chipmunk laugh from me there. I was very excited to get these. I thought they'd given me the wrong size here, but they hadn't. I'd ordered 9x7. I just forgot what I'd ordered. And it took me a few minutes to remember I'd actually ordered the right thing.
Very pretty. Very pretty. Exciting. Okay, time to get the artwork in.
This process really did reduce my excitement about having these picture frames. It really hurt my fingers, these little tabby things. They were so tight on the picture frames, trying to get them to lift up so I could get the backs off. Yeah, it really, really hurt my fingers. I ended up using a little ruler. To be fair, it's not that little, is it really? I mean, I don't know how long that is, 50, 60 inches? I don't know how many centimetres that is. Anyway, it's a fairly big ruler and it's made of steel, so it's not a little ruler by any stretch of the imagination. Then I had to try and get these little insidey bits out and put the picture in. Make sure it's the right way up. Do you know how many times doing this? I put the picture frame in, I put the back on, and then, oh, yep, back's upside down. Time to take it off, spin it round, do it again. Do you know how many times I did it? Once. And that one time really annoyed me. I was so annoyed with myself. The little tabbies also kept getting caught on the backing of the picture frame, so it wouldn't slot back in nicely. I think it was because I was trying to go too fast and wasn't just taking my time and trying to do it properly. I was trying to rush through and get everything done as quick as I could, and it just wasn't working. I also had to slide that little thing at the top into the middle, so when we did hang the pictures, they would hang nicely and, you know, straight. I tried measuring it. Well, that was a bit daft. What I did in the end, well, you'll see what I did in the end. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'll do it in a minute. I measured it to start with, but that took forever. It really did. And trying to slide that tabby thing across really hurts your hands. So here's what I did. Yay! Look at me, genius. I took the picture inners that were in it originally, folded it in half, laid it back on the picture frame, and boom! I had an instant little arrow pointing to exactly where the middle of the picture frame was, so I could slide the wee little tabby thing right into place, and it was bang in the middle of the picture frame. Dead easy. No measuring, no having to work out half of this number and half of that number, because inevitably the bit you're measuring is always like 16 3/3 of an inch. Well, I can't half 3/3 of an inch. I could barely, if it was 16 and half an inch, I'd be struggling. So, yeah, that was so much the easier way of doing it. And then I was whizzing through with these. It still needed the ruler to get the tabbies up, and it still really hurt my hands sliding the tabbies across and doing all the other little tabby bits. But yeah, I started whizzing through. I was really annoyed that one of them had broken. One of them had been put into the box in a certain way that it was facing one of the sharp tabby bits of the back of the other picture, and obviously where it's been moved in the pack, it had broken the glass on the other picture frame. Now I do keep meaning to take it back to Asda and get a replacement for it, but every time I think I'll do that, I forget all about it and I never get round to actually doing it. And the longer it sits on my table, the more I think, well, when I actually take it back, they're going to be like, well, you could have broken it yourself at home and we won't give you a refund. I don't know if that's actually what they're going to do or not, but that's how my thought process works. Why didn't you bring it back immediately? If it was broken, you would have brought it back immediately, wouldn't you? Well, yes. If your brain functions like a normal human being and you're not running around doing anything and everything for absolutely everybody, and you actually get a day off of work when the store is actually open, or you remember to put it in the flipping car when you're on your way to work, so you can just pull in and say, excuse me, can I exchange this, please? It got broke in my George delivery. If your brain works like a normal human being, then there is a very good chance that you would have remembered to take it a day or so after you found out it was broken in the box. But I don't do things like a normal person. So I'm going to try and return it. If they accept it, brilliant. That's excellent. I'll be very happy. If they don't, I'll find a way to make it work. Maybe I'll get some Perspex or something that will fit the picture frame and will look just like the glass does. Or I might even not put a glass sheet in there and see if that works. Who knows? I will figure it out. I'm nothing if not resourceful. I will figure these things out. Now, I know I said I sped through these quite quickly, but watching it go in slow motion, well, no. I've got like 20 odd picture frames to do, so we're going to time lapse it and get through them pretty quick. So hopefully we can get them up on the wall a little bit quicker, because, wow, I can't wait to see these picture frames on the wall. And I can't wait to add the little extra bits. I've got extra picture frames and I will be buying even more because I want my whole hallway full of family photos. I want the whole house full of family photos. Anyone guessed the theme yet? Have we guessed the general theme or the more specific theme? All right, while we're guessing the theme, while we're rethinking about it, it's time for me to get the carpet fitted. Now I can see why carpet fitters charge so dang much. It is the most annoying, fiddliest, irritating job that I've done in a long time. To be fair, I don't do many jobs, but this one drove me bonkers. Now, Dale said he'd measured the stairs, that's fine. And we were looking about 8.5 inches of gap on either side of the stair runner down the middle. So I measured one side, 8.5 inches, assuming the other side would be 8.5 inches, because if it's been measured and that's how much I need to leave each side, if I leave it one side, it's going to be the same on the other side. Right? Wrong. I don't know how it worked, but somehow, while I was putting the stair runner in, it ended up going wonky. This stapler as well, I was told to screw that little button down, or the twisty handle knob thing down, because it would make the staples come out faster and harder and would go through the carpet and into the stair better. But all it did was serve to make it harder, so I couldn't press the lever down properly, and the staples weren't going into the carpet at all. So I thought, well, I'll loosen it the other way. Maybe I got it the wrong way. I'll loosen it and see if that helps. Yeah, no, that doesn't help either. It turns out it's bleeding difficult when you've got no real strength to hold the carpet in place at the right measurement distance, use the stapler to get the staples in, and fold the carpet in the correct way. I think for every one staple that went in, 6 didn't. So in the end, I dragged Dell into it. And between the two of us, we managed to get the carpet in place. But it took all his effort to get the staples to go through the carpet and into the stair. There was no way I was going to be able to do it. I don't ever want to be a carpet fitter. Never. It is one job I do not want. So this is what your beautiful carpet looks like now. Isn't she gorgeous? I can't stop staring at it. I love it. And Dell's going to put up my picture frames. Now, I did, as you saw before, sort of randomly pop them on the wall. So I knew roughly where they were going to be. But Dell got out the ruler and the spirit level, and he measured it properly all the way up the stairs to make sure where they were going was going to be absolutely perfect. And he did a good job. Now, again, it's one of these things. Every time, right, I come up with a plan, I'm more than happy to bring about that plan, to bring it to fruition, and have help as and when I need it. Turns out, though, I need more help than I think. Like, I try and do something, and it never works. So I end up roping Dell in to do it for me. Or I'll be sitting there, and he'll be like, we'll do it in a little while. We'll do it in a little while. We'll have a cup of tea first. We'll do it in a little while. Yep, brilliant. Okay. So I'm sitting on the sofa, I'm watching something on my phone, and I'm waiting for Dell to say, okay, come on then, let's go and put the pictures up or put the carpet down or whatever, right? And then next thing I know, he's disappeared out the living room. Where's he gone? Turns out he's already doing what needs to be done. Hasn't informed me that we're going to be doing what needs to be done. So I then look like I don't do any of this work in my videos. Because he's just taken off and decided to do it without me. So I'm like grabbing the camera quick, setting it up, because I'm missing all this good stuff. And I can't do it. How can I help him measure lines on the wall? You know, what bits could I be doing? So I just end up standing there like a bump on a log, watching him do all the work. Because he never thinks to tell me he's starting. And I just get left behind. That's another thing we've had major issue with doing these stairs. It doesn't matter what time of day or night we start, whether the kids are home or they're not home. The minute we start doing these stairs, it's the one place in the world everybody needs to be. I've got to get upstairs. I've got to get downstairs. Suddenly they'll come home from wherever they are and they'll go upstairs and downstairs. I'm actually surprised, I'm shooketh, that baby cat hasn't come home yet and decided she wants to wander up and down the stairs. Because literally, ever since we started these stairs, I didn't realise how much you use the stairs in a family home. Turns out it's a lot. And here it is, finally coming together. The picture frames are going up. Now, I did have the carpenter out the other day to come and have a look at boxing in the electrical works. He has gone away. He's going to look at what materials he's got and the measurements and that sort of thing. He's going to come back to us with a quote. So I'm not entirely sure whether it's going to make it onto this video. I hope it is. What I'm thinking is I'm just going to keep filming on this video until it's all done. So far we're a month in. As this is being filmed and voiceovered, we are a month into this project. I can't remember the exact date we started it. It was a very long time ago we started it. But I don't want to be one of those people that's like, come back for a part 2. And, you know, part 2's just these finishing touches. No, I want you to see it before, during and after in all one video. So yeah, you might have to wait for it. But I tell you what, it's well worth it when you get there. Oh, it's stunning. I'm very, very excited. So we've got some more picture frames for the other side. And yes, we did remember to take into account the fact that there's going to be a cabinet going in here. Now, it does kind of mean that you might not see all the photos at the bottom. We did sort of, scope it out, and hopefully you should still be able to see the photos. If not, it'll only be this bottom one closest to the meter box that you won't be able to see. But we'll be able to see it when we're coming up and down the stairs. So that's what's important. At the end of the day, I want this to look nice, but I want it to be nice for us too, because this is our family home. And I want it to meet our needs and suit us and be a reflection of us and our family, and I want us to be comfortable there. So if boxing in the electric meter box means that you have to turn your head slightly to be able to see a picture, then that's what it means. And yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry. It's our family home, and I am really, really, really happy. I swear to you, if I could smile anymore, if I could laugh, jump up and down and squeal anymore, I would probably injure myself, because I am so over the moon with how this has come together. I really, really am. Now, we're standing here debating because we've got more picture frames or pictures already to go up, and we're going to have even more when we've finally taken them and printed them out. So we need to figure out where we could put a second row of picture frames. So we're just trying to work out at the minute where we can put them in that's going to look the nicest and not look daft. Now, Dell thinks directly above, and I was thinking slightly off centre. But I ended up putting them directly above, and it actually works quite well. So Dell measured the distance that I quite liked, and we put a second row above the first row. Will it eventually go onto both sides? Absolutely. Do I need to buy more picture frames to make that possible? Yes. In a word, yes, I do. So I'm going to be buying more picture frames, and we're going to be taking some more pictures to pop up on this wall. I do need to get a picture of Craig with the monkey, because we all had our photo taken with the monkey on the pier, and I need a picture of Craig with said monkey, and I need a picture of the kids on the snails. They have got one picture when they were younger, and I would like one of them older. Now they're grown up and basically adults. I mean, I'm aware 17 isn't a fully fledged adult, but for me, 16 is when you kind of become more adult than child teen. You're kind of young adult for me. So I'd like one of them now they're grown up, and I've got the one of them obviously when they're smaller. I don't know how I managed to stay on these stairs. Just a little side note, I just saw me wobble a minute ago, and it just reminded me. For some reason, every time I stand on these stairs, like sideways, I can walk up and down and fine. But if I try and stand on these stairs and then sort of try and turn around to walk, it throws my balance off like you'd not believe. It's really annoying. It's one of the reasons why I couldn't do the jobs like hanging the pictures, because I just kept losing my balance every time I sort of turn around or try and move. Look how gorgeous that lamp is. Look at that beautiful warm orange light it casts. Oh, I love this land. I can't say it enough. I love my hallway and my landings. I love them. And yes, I say hallway and landings, because obviously we have the entrance area, which is kind of a foyer, kind of a landing area. Then at the top of the stairs, we've got that one landing area, but then you've got an extra step and another landing area. So yes, it is plural. I have 2 landings, and I love them both. We've got the carpet coming as well, so that's on order. It's actually on order. It's going to be delivered. I can't wait for that, because then it's going to tie everything together, and the last thing we're waiting for is Mr. Carpenter Man to come and do his magic and box in that terrible, ugly monstrosity that is that electric box and all those wires, because, oh, good grief, if there is one thing about this house that gives me the ick, it is that electric box and all those hideous, ugly wires and the paint mark all over the wires. It's just, oh, it gives me the ick. I tell you something we probably should do before the rest of the carpet arrives, and I actually wanted to do before the stair runner carpet arrives, because I know what I'm like with paint. It goes everywhere. I'll knock it over and I'll ruin my own stair carpet and then I'll cry. We should have painted the flipping doors. We have yet to paint the door surrounds or the door frames. We've yet to paint the doors, and we're yet to paint the loft hatch or the attic hatch. We ain't finished that yet, and every flipping weekend we do a bit more on this hallway. And every weekend I think that's one job I need to get done. That's one job I need to get done. Every single time I go back to work, I kick myself because I think, didn't get it done, did I? Didn't do it, did I? I will get it done. I'm going to make myself a nice big sticky note, and I'm going to stick it to the notice board thing in the not dining room, the living room. And do you know what? I may even take wipeable board marker and actually write it on one of the mirrors, so I don't forget on my next day off to paint the doors. I might even give it to Dell as one of his daytime jobs, because obviously he only works at school in the evenings. So if I can give it to him as one of his daytime jobs, he could do that. He's been meaning to get out and mow the lawn, but it just keeps raining, so he never gets to go out there and do the lawn. I'll add it as one of his daytime jobs. Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, well, he finishes putting up the rest of the pitch frames. I'm just going to have a perusal on my phone. I've no idea what I'm looking at this point. It's probably more picture frames, but I have absolutely no idea. I could be doing anything. Certainly not doing any hard work, to be fair. See, my hard work comes the cleaning and not the decorating, the cleaning. It used to be I did all the decorating too, but actually, he kind of helps now. Maybe he likes having the camera out. He just likes doing stuff on camera. Because I say, it used to be me that did all the decorating. Now look, I was going to put the empty frames up so they didn't get broken. But we can't stop staring at the hallway now. We're both just out here admiring the hallway and being like, oh, this is better than anything we can watch. Here, let's take you upstairs and you can have a look as we go. So, like I say, there will be 2 rows on either side of the stairway, and we'll have a look coming from the top down. You got a little picture of Woody there. Oodle Poodle was included. But yeah, 2 rows on either side. How beautiful does it look? It really looks good. Now, we've got to add the carpet to the top of the stairs as well. Don't forget, like I said, there is going to be more carpet coming for what we're deeming the splats. So where you can see the old carpet, that's just to protect people's feet for now, because it's a bit uneven since they did the pipe work. But there will be new carpet going there on the bit Dell's kneeling on and inside the main door entryway. So, yeah, there will be brand new carpet going there too. If I mentioned I'm excited and I love it. I am hoping at some point I can either have Kerry down or I can get down to Kerry and we can go shopping for like accessories and like little knick-knacky bits, because I'm terrible at buying accessories and knick-knacky bits. I love what we've done. I really do. And I think actually maybe it'll be all right left as it is. But I don't know. I don't know if it needs extra. Although I tell you what, she most certainly can help me with Christmas decorating the hallway. Because each room, once it's decorated, I can then start buying seasonal decor for that room. So hopefully Kerry can come Christmas decorations shopping for the hallway for us. I also want some sort of motion sensor activated lights, because one of the annoying things is the lights are on out here all night. So I think it'd just be nice to have a motion censored lamp or light so that when you get up in the night, it puts on the light for you, but when you're back in your room, you're going back to sleep, the light will turn itself off. Just save a bit of electric, just be a little bit more economical. I mean, I know our lights don't use a lot, but you know, why not? I don't know, maybe I will. Something I do know is that our carpet for the landing areas has now arrived. I was so excited to get into this, and then I realised that we'd been sent the wrong thing. I mean, to be fair, we were sent the right thing,
When it was ordered, it came with two different descriptions, and I don't think Dell noticed that it came with two different descriptions. So the colour of the carpet we got for the stairs was Berber. This said it was Berber, herringbone pattern, Berber colour, loop carpet, right? This said it was that, and then in the description it said it was chili Berber. Well, chili is the colour pattern. It's like the brown and the cream that you can see. So I was like, I don't know if I want this. Do I send it back? Well, we were going to send it back and get the right one, but they didn't do the right one. I was going to order carpet from somewhere else, but that would have taken God alone knows how long and would have cost me a lot more money. Plus, we didn't know whether they would take a refund on this because it was our error, not theirs. So we went with it. And I'm so glad we did. It's funny, isn't it, how some things come out of errors that are just fantastic. So because the roll of carpet is too big to fit all down in that tiny small area, what we decided to do was roll it out in the living room and cut round the shape of the carpet that was already there. We were going to overcut it by just a small amount, by an inch or so, allowing for like wiggle room and mistakes, things like that. We thought it'd be perfect. Yeah. Turns out, even when cutting carpet from a template, you get it wrong. I don't quite know how we managed to get it wrong. We went over by quite a bit. We went over by more than an inch, which was our original plan. And somehow, some way, the carpet didn't fit. It came up short. I was absolutely fuming. But what we did do was we changed plans. So the carpet I'm cutting out now, we actually put on the top landing and we cut a new piece for the bottom landing. So it all worked out in the end. But yeah, apparently even with a template, you could get it wrong. This is why I wanted to get a professional to do it. But it saves you a fortune and it wasn't a bad job. But laying carpet is the most fiddly annoying job in the world. I don't understand how some of the people do it constantly, all day, every day. Drives me up the wall. Now, we didn't bother putting it down anything to protect the lino because, as you all well know, the lino is absolutely ruined. It will be getting replaced at some point. So we just destroyed it even more. We just cut straight through the carpet, straight onto the lino. And you can see here that I am giving it extra space, even round the bits that I know fit perfectly. I've given it some extra gap. I don't understand what went wrong. Still, it's fixed now, and we have a beautiful laid carpet. I do like the contrast. It was weird at first, but now I've really got used to it. It's like grown on me, and I love it. Like I said, it's funny, isn't it, how these accident things come along and fix everything. We could have waited weeks to buy a more expensive carpet, when actually this one's worked really quite well. I think I see what happened. The carpet's moved. I've not left a big enough gap that side. I did when I initially made the first sort of cut mark, but then the carpet has moved at some point, even with my entire body weight sitting on top of it. No, look, there is still a gap. It looked like the carpet moved. I don't know then. I don't know. But like I say, hey, it's fixed. Oh, it's exciting. Once I have finished decorating this whole way, I'm going to give you a quick recap of the before, and then I'm going to give you the after. So, yeah, we're going to build the suspense a little bit more. But you can see the state of the carpet. I cleaned that. I genuinely have got the carpet shampoo out and cleaned it numerous times, but it doesn't look any better. Right, now the carpet is trimmed out. We need to get the old underlay out and give it a good shake off. Look. The minute we appear in the stairway to do anything, there appear little feet. Well, I say little feet. They're big feet, actually. They're very huge feet. But, yeah, the minute you try to do anything, there they are. Someone needs to be on the stairs. Anyway, stop griping. This again is why you can't get your carpets clean, because not only does the dirt get in the carpet, it gets into the underlay and it also goes right through to the floor underneath. So as soon as you start putting water on that, it turns it into liquid mud again, and you're trying to suck dirty water through not just your carpet, but through your underlay and all this dirty water up as well. It's a lot, a lot, a lot. I also didn't realise quite how bad this smelt. Obviously, you kind of get used to the smells in your house, don't you? You know, if you have a certain food a lot, you get used to that smell. You have pets, you get used to their smell. I moved the underlay and I moved that little bit of lino, and yeah, there was an odd odour. Odour de pet, I think it was. It was definitely animal kind of an odour. But yeah, it did pog a little bit. So I was glad to get the lino up, get it out, get it cleaned off, get it dried, and then Febreze it before we put it back in. This Hoover didn't do much against the dirt and muck on the corners of this carpet. It really, really took some like scrubbing with the hand tool to try and get all of the muck out the corners. It was like it was welded in. But to be fair, the sticky back tile carpet, these were the very first carpet, or this was the very first carpet we had where we moved in here. We didn't get it straight away, but the first carpet we laid down in this house, I believe, was that carpet, sticky back tiles. And I was going to do a runner up the middle of the stairs, and it didn't work. I got about 3 stairs up, got bored, and it just looked awful, and it cost me a fortune. And I was like, nah. I will say they have lasted a long while, though. We've had several different carpet, lino configurations over the top of these over the years. We always left them down because they were too much of a hassle to pull up and get off the floor. They were really, really sticky. However, now I'm trying to get the mud and grime out of the pile of the carpet. They're all coming unstuck quite happily. I was so cross. I was like, Mrr. For years I've tried to get you up, and every time you wouldn't have it. And now I want you to stay down just so I can hoover you, and you're like, no, we're going to come up off the floor. One of the good things about having the heating system put in, though, is that now the pipes don't run underneath this floor. When they were originally put in and the house was extended to include the bathroom, the heating pipe ran underneath the floor I'm hoovering, but only by like a couple of mil, maybe an inch. It was really close to the surface. So much so that when they came up to take the flagstone tile that was on this floor, they actually ended up going through the heating pipe, and there was water everywhere, and it was bad. So we can't put like door bars in to like anchor the carpet down between the bathroom and the hallway. And we were also very nervous to put a door bar in between the hallway and the dining room, because we didn't want to go through the heating pipe. But now that heating pipe, it's still underneath the concrete because it's kind of like mixed in with the concrete. It's kind of part of the concrete. So they didn't take it out when they replaced the heating, but it does mean that if we drill through it, or when we drill through it, it will have no adverse effects. So it's completely safe for us to drill through and put door bars in. Finally, we can have door bars and it's going to look finished, which is very nice. This is about the time we realise I have cut the carpet wrong. I don't know how I've cut it wrong, but I've cut it wrong. Quick rethink though, and we are off upstairs with it, and we're just going to change our plans and move everything about so it fits. And it does fit. It did. It went perfectly. I ended up having to grab Dell to help me do it though, because I couldn't use the stapler to get the staples to actually anchor the carpet to the wood. It just wouldn't work. Oh, I was getting so angry and so frustrated. Like, literally, I was born and raised in England, and English is my first language. It's my only language. I barely know any other language. I could just about say a few words in a few other languages, but yeah, English is my main language, and I got that angry, that upset, that frustrated. English abandoned me. My brain would not work properly. I managed to get the door bars up. That was easy enough to do on my own. I scraped off like the remaining carpet residue where we'd use the carpet glue to stick down the underlay and then stick the carpet to the underlay. It really worked. Sticking oh goodness, the glue really worked. Sticking the underlay to the wood, not so much sticking the carpet to the underlay. See, brain doesn't want a brain. It's like, no, it knows the words, it just doesn't want to tell me them. This right here is the bit where I start to become frustrated. I know that if I don't get the carpet straight on the stairs, that it will be wonky and it won't fit into one doorway or the other properly. We won't be able to use the door bars on it properly, and it's going to have the herringbone little pattern arrows all going in a slightly diagonal direction. So I'm trying to get it straight. I'm trying to make sure it's right. I'm trying to get it lined up and make sure there's enough either side in our room and Craig's room that we can put the door bars in and hold the carpet down. And for all the trying, I can't get it to work. I tried stapling it in place to try and keep it where it needed to go. It wouldn't work. I was so cross and I was getting angrier and angrier as the seconds passed. More and more frustrated because this just wouldn't go right. And then Dell comes along and within 5 minutes he's figured it out and doing it all properly. I don't understand how his brain just brains. It just does exactly what he needs it to do. He needs to say words and his brain goes, there's the words you need to say. Speak them. And he speaks them. He looks at something he needs to do and his brain goes, there's what you need to do. Do it. And his body responds and goes, okay. My brain, it takes one look at the stairs and goes, walked up them. And then body tries to respond, and what body hears is a miscommunication, and it actually hears fall up them. So I trip over my own feet in an attempt to oblige my misheard brain. It does it a lot. I want to say, ooh, let's get some strawberries. My brain produces the words, let's get some strawberries. It sends the signal to mouth to say, let's get some strawberries. But mouth mishears the communication and instead said, it's even doing it now. It mishears the communication and instead says, let's get some grapes. That's what it does. Does it a lot. And oddly, between those two fruits, I seem to be okay with other fruits, but strawberries and grape, nope, can't do that either. Brain goes, nope, confuses them completely. What else does it? Does it a lot? It does it a lot. But Dell's brain's got it. Dell's brain's okay. Hang on, let me see if we can hear it.
To tuck it under, to start it, to anchor it down. And it doesn't want to do it. I thought maybe it's just...
Cut there first.
I don't want to cut anything until I know, because...
No, just to take the tension off, because that'll be pulling against the staple as you try and put it in.
Yeah, but my thing is, if I've got this slightly wonky, like this is going at that angle, and I cut it there, then when I try and tuck it here, there won't be enough to tuck round, and we'll have it weird again. So I don't want to cut that until I know I've got enough to tuck underneath.
Right.
You know?
Well, then don't start stapling from that pit. I don't know what to tell you. Because you're tugging on that corner, you're trying to tuck it under with all that force pulling against it.
Yeah, I'm aware, but I don't. How else do you lay it without knowing you're not going at that angle, and then all of a sudden you're going to come here, and there's going to be short carpet because it won't. No room angle funny bad.
You hurt my head with your English.
I hurt my own head with my English. I'm stressed, so the aphasia is kicking in. Words aren't wording. There is soup in my head that is trying to make you understand what I'm trying to tell you.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it makes my brain hurt. How do we know this is straight?
Well, that looks straight to me.
Because, like I say, if it's off by a little bit, if it's like that, then, you know, we cut this here. Oh,
Yeah,
look, that
I know
wraps
what you're
round.
saying. Get it straight and put it a little bit more this way, so you've got some runoff, right?
Just check Craigie from straight.
So in case you missed the word soup that came out of my brain, it was angle funny bad. No room angle funny bad. Because what I was trying to say was if the carpet's at a funny angle, we cut it, everything's going to go wrong. Brain didn't want to give me those words. Yep, angle funny bad. Angle funny bad. I don't think there's ever been a sentence where I've used those three words together. Apart from that day when word soup took over my brain. Yeah, that happens a lot though. I get stressed and words become nonsensical. Dale ends up getting angry at me because he can't understand. Well, he kind of understands what I'm saying, but I don't make sense, you know? He kind of knows what I mean, but the words aren't right words. And he gets stressed at me because I'm stressed, which makes me more stressed, which makes him more stressed, and then we just end up giving up and having a cup of tea. I have to stay completely calm and non-stressed for him to stay calm and non-stressed. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. On the bright side, my total lack of competence to do pretty much anything these days has brought Dell into the picture and now means he's doing the whole knight in shining armour thing and saving his helpless, hapless wife and doing the work for me. I swear to you, I don't do it deliberately. I honestly try to do it myself. Because I can do these things myself, or at least I think I can. And then actually I give it a try and I realise very, very quickly I can't. I don't know where my competency went. I used to be a very independent person. I used to be the sort of person who, if you said, you can't do that, I would go above and beyond to prove to you I could. I would do anything. The minute someone said no, I would make that answer a yes. Just to prove I could. Didn't matter what they told me I couldn't do. I was going to do it just to prove I could. With the stuff I didn't want to do, most of the time I wouldn't do that because, yeah, you were right, I won't do it. But it was because I didn't want to, not because they said I couldn't. If I wanted to and they said I couldn't, then I'd figure out a way to do it. Like, I was told having a staffy would be a bad idea, so one day I thought, no, I'm getting one. And I did. It was the best idea I ever had. Somewhere along the line, though, that wee little spark inside me that was defiant and independent, well, it went and it abandoned me. And now I'm so dependent on other people for quite a lot of things. I don't know why. I don't want to be, but I seem to end up that way. I don't understand what it is or why. Maybe my new EMDR sessions or the therapy I'm doing will help me figure out where the independent me has gone and how on earth I get her back, because I need her back. I want to be I want to be a good employee. I want to be a good house person, wife, mother, pet owner. I want to do what I'm doing and do it properly and confidently and well and not half measures of anything anymore. But I don't seem to be able to hit that swing, you know? I always seem to do it, but I never seem to do it as thoroughly or as confidently as I did before. It's all just, yeah, well, done is done. No, done is not done. And maybe it's because I'm working on myself and I'm not scared of failure so much anymore. I still don't like failure. I don't think anybody does. But failure used to terrify me. Failure used to be the driving cause in 99% of my decisions. And I was terrified of failing and making mistakes. So I worked hard to never be a failure, to never mess up. And if I didn't know how to do something and knew I would probably end up failing, I never even tried it. Never did it. Because what's the point? If you're going to fail, you're no good at it, don't try. So maybe I've just got to the point where I'm like, I could fail, so what's the point? Don't even try. Or I'm at the point where, I don't know, I just don't care. Either way, I've lost the spark. I've lost that spark. I've lost my train of thought as well. So we're going to have a little bit of music for now. And then I'll come back to you in a little while when there's some interesting conversation to be had for you all. I mean, well, I don't know if it'll be interesting. It'll probably just be me rambling again. But hey, when I'm ready to re-ramble and I've grabbed hold of my train of thought, I will come back to you and ramble at you again. If that's interesting conversation for you, that's fabulous. If it's just my meandering thought pattern that you desperately try and keep up, hold on to and follow, then that's fantastic also. Ooh, yeah. Here you go. Here's an interesting thought pattern that's just spun into my head. You're supposed to have proper carpeting tools for this business. I'm using a paint scraper to jam the carpet underneath the skirting board to fix it in place. I don't like gripper rods. I hate gripper rods. Oh, they do my head in. Gripper rods should be banned. I find no matter where you've got gripper rods, like round the edges of the room, on the backs of your stair treads, wherever you have gripper rods, no matter what carpet you have it with, how expensive or how cheap, colour, felt backed, whatever, I don't care what carpet you have it with. If you've got carpet spikes, then things is going into your foot at some point. It's going to be a bit ouchy, isn't it? I don't like them. And this carpet is quite thin, so it's felt backed. It is a loop pile carpet. And yeah, it's really, really quite thin. But yeah, so I can't have carpet rods, can't have gripper rods. They will end up causing some spikies, and I don't want that. So they are being stapled down and, like I say, jammed under skirting boards, because there's a small recess around the bottom of all our skirting boards that we can shove the carpet under and hold it in place, and then just staple where it can't be seen to hold the carpet in place even more. Perfecto. Absolutely amazing. No, we didn't put underlay under the carpet at the top of the stairs. The underlay that we did have here originally obviously was no good after the builders got to it, and the one at the top of the stairs was the same, no good after the builders got to it. I was thinking of maybe getting some new underlay, but in the end I thought, no, there's no point, let's not bother, let's just go with this carpet. And it works quite well. It's thick enough to pad the feet, and it doesn't need the underlay. The underlay would have added a little something to it, made it a bit squishy maybe, but it doesn't need it to do its job at the top of the stairs here. So, carpet is finally almost in. Things have been painted. There are picture frames in. I think it's about time we reminded you of what the hallway looked like when we started this project way back in probably about the middle of May. I think Baby Cat went missing when we started this project, because I remember them going out to look for her that weekend. So she was last seen, I think, Friday the 16th. And on Saturday, everyone went out looking for her. So yeah, we started this back in the middle of May. That's how long it's taken. And it's still not finished. So there are going to be some dressing bits that you're going to have to come back for. I didn't want to have to do it that way, but I'm going to have to do it that way. So here is your quick flash at what we saw before. The carpet didn't fit. It was coming off the stairs. There was muck and grime and spider webs everywhere. None of the decor fit. This monstrosity, that's still yet to be boxed in. But we've got to wait for the carpenter to come round and fit us in to have that done. So that's one you're going to have to come back for. This was falling off the wall and covered in grime. The stair carpet, like I said, it was falling off and covered in grime. More falling off. There were cobwebs everywhere. This bit of purple curtain that just got shoved there because, well, why not? And a door that was painted back when Craig was 3. He's now 17. So now you've been reminded of what the hallway used to look like. Let's show you the end result. We've got a nice sign on the door for no shoes. Nobody is allowed to wear shoes up my stairs. We have got this beautiful herringbone carpet. Absolutely lovely, and it goes so well with the white. Got all the pictures up the wall. These are all from a trip to Great Yarmouth that we had with Kerry, my dad, Dell and Alyssa. We did go back and get Craig's picture with the monkey and also on the snails. There's more room for more family pictures as well. So it's a very seaside-y themed stairway. We've got this beautiful, beautiful reed effect blind that kind of reminds me of like the windbreakers and beach mats. And like I say, there's loads more room for more family pictures. But the theme we're going for is seaside. The colour was taupe. And the more specific theme was indeed Great Yarmouth, my favourite place in the world. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.